Tell me where your heart is, tell me what you're thinking. Cat Nation, let's talk. Show your inner feelings, let's discuss the meaning. Cat Nation, let's talk. Share your views and thoughts now, share it with Cat Nation. Cat Nation, let's talk. Tell me where your heart is, tell me what you're thinking. Cat Nation, let's talk. Show your inner feelings, let's discuss the meaning. Cat Nation, let's talk. Share your views and thoughts now, share it with Cat Nation. Cat Nation, let's talk. Tell me what you.
Hey everybody, I'm coming to you live. This is Lynette Reddix with Case on Location. We are here in Missouri City at the library. We're here to put on a film called Resurrection of Black Wall Street. And one of the organizers here that's actually got this thing kicked off with our organization Case is Regina. So we got Regina here to talk to us about why this was so important for her to be a part of this organization and why was the introduction of Black Restoration of Wall Street was something that she felt our community actually need in this Missouri City area. I want to turn it over to her. Regina, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Well, you know you're always welcome, Lynette. Okay, the need, okay? There is definitely a need. About roughly 2 years ago, I started, I applied for graduate school and to get a master's in social work. Okay, I felt like a master's in social work would give me the skills that I need to do community development work. All right, and while I was in school, we had to do a lot of research. And one of the things that I uncovered about the Black community was that pretty much in every societal indicator, and when I say societal indicator, I'm talking about statistics. Okay, when you talk about child welfare, when you talk about health, when you talk about mental health, when you talk about education, when you talk about criminal justice, in all of those societal indicators, our people are doing bad. For instance, and what I mean, I'll give you an example. In child welfare, we may make up about 12 to 13% of the population here in the United States. Well, when it comes to child welfare, we make up probably about 25 to 30% of the kids that are in foster care. So that is that's what's called a disparity, meaning that we only have 12 to 13% of the people. We only make up 12 to 13%, but yet and still our numbers in that particular system is well out of the range of where it should be. Okay, and that goes double for criminal justice. Okay, we make up, again, like I said, 12 to 13% of the population, and we have like what, 30%, 35% of Black males are behind bars and prisons. So it's things like that that have prompted us to take up this cause of to resurrect Black Wall Street. Now, Black Wall Street is not the Wall Street that you think of today. Okay, it was called Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it was a town that was founded and established by Black people who were probably about 50 years out of slavery when they established this town. And when you think about it, there's a lot of parallel because we are about 50 years out of civil rights. So I don't know if that's like just a trend, but the bottom line is that there's a state of emergency in the Black community, and nobody is going to come to save us. No one is going to come to our community and say, hey, folks, let's have a renaissance of your culture. Let's revitalize your culture. Let's reestablish the traditions in your community. You know, nobody's going to do that. The only people that are going to do that is us. And even if they did try to do that, we'd be mad. We'd be mad about that if somebody crossed the line and to disrespect us like that. So the question is, what are we waiting for? So tonight we're using this as a call to action. We want to call anybody and everybody who is a part of the Missouri City community that has a passion and would like to see this dream unfold, because we need boots on the ground. We need help. We need to work together. We have to reestablish that village that we used to have in our community. And, you know, a lot of times I talk to people, I talk to everybody. I talk to my family. I talk to my friends about this situation. And they all, because they love me, they want to see it happen. But they don't have the vision all the time to see how it would happen. So they tell me, you know, I don't know. You know, they show that they have a lot of doubts about a project such as this. But I tell them that's why we're showing Resurrection of Wall Street, because this is not pie in the sky. This is not a dream that we just pulled out of the air. This has been done, okay? It was already done, okay? So the proof is in the pudding, and that's why we want to show tonight. Give a rendition of history that is seldom heard, because this stuff is not in the history books. And I'll tell you, it's not in the history books by design, okay? It's not a mistake that this stuff is not in history books, okay? We're not supposed to know about it, and largely a lot of black people don't know about it. So my hats are off to Dr. Boyce Watkins, because if you check him out, I think it's myblackworld.com, and he also has a YouTube channel. Again, his name is Boyce Watkins. He is the one that put together this documentary, and he's selling it all over the nation with the hopes that all of the little black towns and black enclaves and neighborhoods where black people reside together in large numbers, that we will take this documentary and use it to catapult ourselves into a new resurrection of Black Wall Street. And so I'm just happy about that, and elated, actually.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, it's inspiring to me, because I lived here for about 8 years and 16 years in whole in Houston, but I lived to Missouri City about 8 years. My children went to Missouri City Middle School, graduated from Thurgood Marshall, and the last two graduated from Hightower. And so it's a pillar for me to see our community do better than what it's doing. And I became an entrepreneur right in Missouri City. I decided I wanted to put a clinic out here. I wanted to make a change in our environment. And so I'm going to challenge every African American business owner, leader, let's pull it together to effectively make change in our community. Y'all take care, and I'm going to have my next person later. God bless. Thank you so much, Regina.
Resurrect this iconic time in our nation's history. Missouri City is on the map as being a black majority city. It's on the map as having a median income in the 80,000 category plus. It's on the map as being one of the safest cities in the nation. It's on the map, you guys. We can do this right here. We're also hearing that Atlanta is a close second to compete with us to resurrect this initiative, but I'm wholeheartedly believing that not only we can do it first, we can do it best. So that's one of the motivations that we have to launch this particular film, to figure out what happened. Because before we move forward, we have to understand the past, right? So I'm going to bring Regina Gardner up. She's one of our lead project leaders on this initiative to talk about what inspired her work.
Hello, everybody. My name is Regina Gardner, and I'm a member of CASE. What inspired me? Well, actually, I moved to Missouri City when I was about 11 years old, and I attended Missouri City Middle School. I also graduated from Willow Ridge High School. I lived in Missouri City at a time, I would say it was the heyday of Missouri City. And so, I've seen how the city has actually declined. And, you know, once I became an empty nester, I had to kind of search my soul and find my purpose. And I decided to go back to graduate school and pursue a degree in social work. And I wanted to pursue a degree in social work because it would give me the tools that I would need to do community development work. And so if anybody knows, when you go back to school to work on your master's, you have to do a lot of research. And so as a part of my research, what I found was that there are two things, okay? One thing is that every group, every community has a stratification, meaning there's a lower rung, there's the middle rung, which consists of like the worker bees, the people, those are the people that go to work, come home, feed the kids. They might have a family get together on Saturday, go to church on Sunday, and turn right back around on Monday and go to work. Okay, they don't really have an aspiration to be involved in a lot of civic activity. And then there's the upper rung, which is the I call them the leadership of the community, and that group consists of business owners, lawyers, doctors, politicians, people who want to be leaders in civic organizations. Okay, and what I found was that in the Asian community, it's that way. In the Hispanic community, it's that way. In the African community, it's that way. In the East Indian community, it's that way. And even in the African American community, it is that way. The only difference is there is a void in the higher echelon ring in our community. Okay. When you compare that to other communities, they have a tradition and they feel even an obligation and a responsibility to the middle rung of people and the lower rung of people to make sure that those people have their needs met. For example, I have a professor, Hispanic lady. She's a multi-million-dollar grant writer, okay? She has a partnership with neighborhood centers. And I don't know if you guys know that, like, over there off Gulfton and is that Hillcroft and 59, they just built a multi-million-dollar facility over there, Ripley Center, okay? And it's a beautiful facility. They, as a part of my class project, I had to sign up and be a volunteer, and I worked over there, and I saw how they were out there serving their people. And I was just like amazed. And I just feel that one of the issues is that top rung in our group, we've dropped the ball. And we don't look out for our people to make sure that there's a path for those who don't know. And you know, the leadership, we were given a gift to start with, and then we run away and we become diverse and we forget about home. All right, the second thing is that, the thing that I find is that our pre-civil rights behavior and our post-civil rights behavior is very different. And there's some issues there, okay? Pre-civil rights behavior, there was a lot of communal living together, okay? When you live like this, there are some protections that come along with that, okay? You can support your neighbor. You can support your fellow man. There's a brotherhood. There's a sisterhood. There's a feeling that, well, if I'm not doing just so good right now, then my neighbor can come and help me make it through this, okay? So there's a feeling of, like I said, support and just a feeling that someone has your back, as opposed to our behavior since the civil rights. Everybody's dispersed. You know, it's like the upper echelon ring really abandoned the community. And we went out amongst everybody in general. I mean, we didn't know. This is not a blame thing. This is not a blame. All of this is a process, okay? Because we are people who have been traumatized and we've been through a lot over the years. And everything that we're doing right now, we're trailblazing, because this has never been done before, you know. So, but what happened is now that we're spread out, okay, there's no protection, okay. You're isolated. It's you over here and you over here and you over here and you over here. And we see that in the statistics. Because when you look at the disparities, the school to prison pipeline is a great example of that. Because when you have blacks who live out in diverse communities, a lot of times it's our children that are penalized more severely than the other groups. So that is the reason for this showing tonight. There's a lot of people who feel like it can't be done. They feel like this situation is so bad that it can't be done. Oh, well, you know how black people can be. You know how they, they might, I don't know if they'll come together. Okay? But what we have to understand is that there's infighting in every group. You know, those other groups are not perfect. They have their own foibles just like we do. The only thing is you keep going until you find that one that you can partner with. Or you keep looking until you find that black business that is dependable. Okay? We cannot give up on our people. Because when we give up on our people, we give up on ourselves. Okay? And so the resurrection of Black Wall Street, we want to show this film because we want to let people know that this is not pie in the sky. This is not a dream that we just pulled out of some hat. This is real, okay? These people were 50 years out of slavery, and this is what they built, okay? So once we're done with this, we want to use this as a call to action. There's a call to action sign-up sheet. When we're done with everything, please, if you have a commitment in your heart and you want to be committed to a mission such as this, please sign your name to the list. Thank you, and enjoy the movie.
Hour long, and we really want to spend the remainder of the time that we reserve to discuss, because we don't want to stop here. This is just a point of reference for us. My name is Benicia Johnson. I'm the founder and chairperson of CASE, Citizens Advocating for Social Equity. CASE is a social welfare organization. Pretty much our goal is to be the voice for the voiceless. We work to give political capita to the underdog. We work to engage political leaders in the issues that affect our community's most vulnerable. We are a political organization. We're organized as a 501c4. I'm very excited about that. And we're also a membership association. So, of course, if you're interested in doing the work that we're doing in the community, don't hesitate to reach out to any of these ladies that are wearing the CASE shirts. They represent the board of directors of CASE. Right now, we are a female-led organization, not by intention. He said, no. We have wonderful guys supporting us. So we welcome any of you to join our efforts. We do have CASE youth as well. That are engaged with us, and we do a lot of work. Right, historically, we have focused on public education. Many people in the community know us in our work to address truancy, school discipline, the school to prison pipeline. CPS knows me. I'm a household name when it comes to child welfare issues. We're working right now with mental health, with our state legislatures, healthcare, but the topic that brought us here today is very new to our platform. What we did was we held a forum, February 25th. We invited all the HD 26, 27 candidates, Ron Reynolds, Steve Brown, Angelique Bartholomew, and Chris Henderson to the table to talk about economic opportunities and equitable development in Fort Bend County, but specifically in Missouri City. We wanted to hear from them because we knew that we had a lot to learn, and we were discussing as leaders whether or not we wanted to take this on. Well, when we left there, it was resoundingly clear to us that we needed to take this on. So what we've done since that forum is we pushed the agenda. If you look at who ran for city council, who ran for any county positions, you saw hashtag economic opportunities. That didn't happen by chance. We pushed the agenda. I would say almost everyone had it. And we're not party specific by any means. All of us represent different parties, but at the end of the day, we care about the most vulnerable amongst us. Okay? So today, we're going to be launching the Black Wall Street Initiative. We believe that Missouri City has all of the ingredients to
Tell me where your heart is, tell me what you're thinking. Cat Nation, let's talk. Show your inner feelings, let's discuss the meaning. Cat Nation, let's talk. Share your views and thoughts now, share it with Cat Nation. Cat Nation, let's talk. Tell me where your heart is, tell me what you're thinking. Cat Nation, let's talk. Show your inner feelings, let's discuss the meaning. Cat Nation, let's talk. Share your views and thoughts now, share it with Cat Nation. Cat Nation, let's talk. Tell me where your heart is, tell me what you're thinking. Cat Nation, let's talk. Show your inner feelings, let's discuss the meaning. Cat Nation, let's talk. Share your views and thoughts now, share it with Cat Nation. Cat Nation, let's talk. Tell me where your heart is, tell me what you're thinking. Cat Nation, let's talk. Ooh, yeah.
One of the things that I'm constantly telling my kids is that we have to be so mindful of what we do and what we're saying, because inside of the school system we're allowing our children to hear lies. We're not a melting pot. Racism is not over. Just because we have a black president does not mean there is no longer racism. And that as long as we allow our children to hear this and we don't teach them in the home, which I love this video, this documentary, and teaching them in the home so that they're prepared when they set foot into a classroom, if they are in a classroom where they are one of two African American children, if they are only a handful, that they can hear a teacher tell them something or anyone tell them something and know that it's erroneous, that there's something more, and to ask questions. And if you're not sure, to come home and discuss it. And so what am I saying? This documentary, which I think should be shown in every school and church and other venues, but that as people, we need to start teaching our children more at home. We have to go back to those roots of where they heard grandma, they heard other people that can give them a history that they're not going to read in a history book, right?
We walked out of our car and we were talking, and she said she had this idea. She told me this morning she had this idea. And the idea that we need to go into wherever, churches, everywhere, to begin to educate young black men. And so much of this video can be used in the education of young black men. And when I look at all of this, as I've always said, I'll use the word that we have been duped in this country. You see, because nobody's telling you. When they went to Africa, they took the best. They took the most educated out of Africa. And these are your descendants. But nobody's telling you that. They left the weak and the infirm and whatever. They left them in Africa. Nobody told you. And so now, in the work that I do, I'm telling you, and I'm telling you that we've been bamboozled in this country, and I'm very well aware of how we've been bamboozled in this country. But the question is, and what you asked for in the very beginning of the film, you talked about Missouri City. Here we are in Missouri City, and you even gave the stats of how many people of African descent occupy Missouri City. And you asked a question, and this is what we want the answer to. I don't live in Missouri City. Can what happened in Greenwood in 1921 also happen here.
I just found it really powerful. I guess one question that the movie dredged up for me was whether it's possible to have cross-cultural collectivism and whether it's possible to have integration without oppression. Because I know that for me, I've derived a lot of benefits having been in cross-cultural environments and being exposed to different cultures and being able to make friends, diverse friends. And I think that in some ways, you lose a lot of worth by being told consistently by society that you aren't beautiful and that you aren't important and that you don't belong. But I think at the same time, if you completely separate yourself from other cultures, it becomes impossible to kind of extend the idea of oneself to multiple groups and to see yourself in others who don't exactly look like you. So I think that finding that avenue is something that I think is really important and that I look forward to seeing Missouri City do as we hope to resurrect Black Wall Street.
What I would like for people to understand is it doesn't matter, even though it's a federal seat and a national seat, all government is local. And so I need to, my concentration is on what do we need to do in Congressional District 18 to get people from a point of just surviving day to day to a point where they're actually thriving. I'm very, very well versed in the criminal justice system, the education system, mental health, and also in homelessness. And all of those things are, you know, I have 3 children that have serious mental illnesses. So I've had to advocate and deal with all of that. I myself has been at the point where I know what it is to be hungry. I know what it is to not know where you're going to lay your head tomorrow. And although my path may not be your path, there is a path out of that deep, dark hole, that bottom rung, to the top, because I've done it. So I know it can be done.
So how do you think about 504 plans in the school system now? And
Well,
the way they've been applied and the qualities of the child not being applied to the child's education?
Well, here's the thing. This is what I've found, and this has been a 25-year journey for me, and it's a very unique journey, is a 504 is almost easily given. That's not the difficult part. It's not getting a 504. You can get a 504 all day long. What you cannot get is an IEP, which is an individual education plan. And that breaks down into you literally have to have a medical reason to give that child to teach them exactly how they learn if they do not learn in a cookie cutter fashion. So what I have done is I've gone into the school systems and I've used, in my particular situation, I've been able to use the Individuals with Disabilities Act, because I truly believe that it shouldn't be hard to get an IEP. That should just be given, because every child is an individual. So shouldn't there just be individual education plans?
Cat Nation, let's talk. Black Wall Street. Y'all got to bring back Black Wall Street. One love, one heart, one Dr. Cat, baby.